Hey everybody, welcome back to The Pressing Matters. I'm Scott. Thank you for tuning in today, and thank you for your support. Today I'm going to be discussing a beautiful Sunday morning jazz listen, and that is Art Pepper Meets the Rhythm Section. I'll tell you all about this new release in a second. Before I get started, I wanted to thank everyone for subscribing. We just hit 6,000. This is a big milestone for me. Thank you so much. If you haven't already and you like what I do, please give me a thumbs up. Hit like, subscribe, and notifications so you can be sure to get notified of any new content that comes up. So this series was announced a year ago. They started putting out titles. I think there's 6 in the initial batch. Art Pepper Meets the Rhythm Section was supposed to be the first one, and it actually was delayed until just last week, so it's actually number 6. They have announced some more titles, so I'm going to list everything from the series in the box below. If you'd like to order from Amazon and help support the channel, all the links will be there for you to use, so I appreciate that very much as well. This is a relatively new title to me. I had heard it before, but I had never had it on LP. It's the stereo edition, and Kraft released a mono edition recently as well for Record Store Day. This is stereo. The cover has gotten a little flack for being for being not so attractive, but it's not bad. Mike from the In-Groove kind of tore it apart. Chad tried to patch it back together. I'm somewhere in the middle. I feel like the mono is much more attractive. It's much better image. It's more saturated. The typography is better. It doesn't have this big ugly stereo thing, even though it's historic. I don't like it, but otherwise it's a beautiful release. But once the needle hit the groove, I forgot all about the cover, because this record blew me away. I was riveted from start to finish. I was listening to it in the evenings over the last week, and today I listened to it for my Sunday morning jazz coffee record, and it's perfect for that. This record features Red Garland on piano, Paul Chambers on bass, and Philly Joe Jones on drum, Art Pepper on alto sax. And the rhythm section actually was Miles Davis rhythm section at one time. This is recorded by Roy Dunan in 1957. It was released in 57 in mono. The stereo came later. The stereo is early stereo, so it's got that kind of unnatural separation. Like a lot of times the drums and stuff are going on over here, and all of a sudden Art Pepper is missing from the left channel. It's that kind of stereo, so bear that in mind. I can hit my mono switch and it all pulls together, but it doesn't really matter. It didn't bother me. On first listen I didn't even notice it, but more and more I started to notice that extreme separation. But this is 1957. This is really early. But the recording itself is so good, so wonderful. I mean, every instrument sounds perfect on this record. Art Pepper's alto sax sounds clear and present and rich and beautiful, just standing right there on the left channel. The drum sound, amazing clear drum sound. Brushes sound like brushes. They don't sound like a wash of sound. Cymbal strikes and decay sound beautiful. Honestly, besides the stereo separation issue, the recording itself is top-notch stuff. And I was very impressed with the sound. The sound just drew me in, and the performances are top-notch. Really, this is like one of the best jazz records I've ever heard. I think it's wonderful. You know, I personally like a little bit more laid back jazz, as you probably know if you've been watching me. And this kind of hits the perfect spot. It's laid back, but it's not bland. It's very interesting throughout. It's a 5-star album. I mean, I looked at the reviews over the years, and every major jazz publication has given this top mark. So I agree. I think it's a stunning record, and I would love to hear the mono as well, but this stereo is beautiful. If you would have blindfolded me and told me that this was a Craft small bitch one step, I would have believed you, because the sound is that good. Sound is really, really good. The pressing is absolutely flawless. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder how come some of these jazz records turn out so perfect and some of the Clarity records don't quite meet that mark. It's a big question mark to me, but this one, you can be assured that it is pressed and plated perfectly. The mastering by Bernie Grundman is top notch. What a wonderful listen for a Sunday afternoon. I loved it. It contains a selection of originals and standards. Cole Porter's You'd Be So Nice to Come Home To starts out the record. Art Pepper Blues, which is composed by Art Pepper and Red Garland. Imagination, you know, Johnny Burke and Jimmy Van Heusen. Waltz Me Blues, which is another original composition by Art Pepper and Paul Chambers. Straight Life by Art Pepper. Jazz Me Blues by Tom Delaney. And Tintin Deo by Chano Pozo. Okay. Star Eyes. It must be another standard. Burke's Works from Dizzy Gillespie. Just a nice selection of laid-back music, beautifully recorded. So I think it's a very, very good release. Cover with even with the cover and even with a weird stereo separation, it's become a favorite jazz album for me almost overnight. I loved it from the moment the needle hit the groove and was riveted to the end, and that's something for me. So thank you for watching. If you are interested in the albums from the Contemporary Acoustic Sounds Jazz series from Craft, I'll have all links in the description box below. If you care to pick them up through Amazon, you'll be helping out the channel greatly, and it's much appreciated. So thank you for tuning in. I'm Scott for The Pressing Matters. Have a great day.